Tonight, your brain will rewrite the past. Not on purpose, it will trim details, merge moments, invent a cleaner story. Then it will hand that story back, and you will call it memory. That feels like a flaw. But your brain was never built as a recorder. It was built as a survival machine. That changes the entire story of human evolution. You have probably seen the usual picture: a small ape brain, then a larger early human brain, then a larger one, then yours. The arrow points upward. The message seems obvious: bigger brain, smarter animal, better human. But evolution did not build your brain like a balloon. It did not simply keep adding volume. It changed timing, it changed shape, it changed connections. It changed which systems grew together. And sometimes, a smaller brain carried surprisingly human organization. The real story is not a ladder, it is a mosaic. Mosaic evolution means different parts change at different times. One system expands, another stays stable. A third gets reorganized. The whole brain does not move as one block. That is the first crack in the old picture. In 2019, Ian Miller, Robert Barton, and Charles Nunn tested that picture. Their study appeared in eLife. They compared living primates with fossil hominins. Hominins are humans and are close extinct relatives. Their dataset included 225 living primate species. It also included 10 extinct hominin species. The result sounded familiar at first. Human brains really are exceptional. Their model estimated the human brain at 238% larger than expected. That comparison accounted for body mass. It also accounted for evolutionary relationships. So yes, size mattered. But then came the surprise. The neocortex was not uniquely oversized. The neocortex is the folded outer layer. It supports perception, planning, and conscious thought. For decades, it played the hero. It was treated as the part that made you human. But Miller's team found something messier. The human neocortex was huge compared with body size. It was not huge compared with the rest of the human brain. Other systems had expanded too, including the cerebellum. The cerebellum sits beneath the rear of the brain. Its name means little brain. It was once treated mainly as a movement controller, balance, timing, coordination. But it also supports prediction and learning. The human brain did not become special through one crowned region. Many parts changed together. And some changed on different evolutionary schedules. That is mosaic evolution. Not one upgrade, a patchwork. So what was evolution actually selecting? The fossil record gives another clue. In 2021, Marcia Ponce de Leon and colleagues studied early Homo brain cases. Their paper appeared in Science. They examined endocasts. An endocast is the inner shape of a skull. It does not preserve thoughts. It preserves the surface form the brain left behind. The team studied fossils from Africa. They also studied fossils from Dmanisi in Georgia. Dmanisi is one of the earliest known Homo sites outside Africa. Its inhabitants lived about 1.8 million years ago. They made stone tools. They crossed unfamiliar landscapes. They survived far from their ancestral range. You might expect a modern human-like frontal brain. They did not have one. The endocast retained a more primitive organization. The frontal lobe still resembled the great ape pattern. That finding broke another simple story. Early Homo left Africa before the modern human brain plan appeared. Movement came first. Some tool use came first. Ecological flexibility came first. The modern arrangement followed later. Ponce de Leon's team placed that reorganization after roughly 1.7 million years ago. It appeared in Africa before becoming visible elsewhere. This was not a sudden leap into intelligence. It was one rearrangement inside a much longer experiment. Picture one of those early travelers. The morning is cold. The group wakes beside a rough shelter. A stone core lies near the fire. Someone strikes off a sharp flake. Another watches. A child copies the angle. No one understands neurons. No one needs to. Knowledge lives in hands, in attention, in repetition, in other people. That group crosses a landscape without maps. They remember water. They read tracks. They notice clouds. They recognize fear in a face. Their frontal brain organization is not modern, but their behavior is already flexible. The lesson is uncomfortable. There was no single moment when intelligence switched on. There were overlapping abilities, built on older systems, used in new combinations. Then another fossil made the puzzle stranger. Homo naledi was announced in 2015. Its remains came from the Rising Star cave system in South Africa. Its brain was small, roughly 1/3 the size of yours. That made it easy to underestimate. Then Ralph Holloway and colleagues studied its endocasts. Their paper appeared in 2018. It was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. The surface anatomy showed features shared with larger-brained Homo. That included changes in the frontal region. The details were not identical to yours. But they were not simply primitive either. Small brain, unexpected organization, same genus. That combination matters. Because size and organization can separate. A brain can remain small while its layout changes. A large brain can retain older features. Evolution can tune architecture without scaling everything equally. This is the point the ladder hides. The ladder only shows volume. It cannot show timing. It cannot show wiring. It cannot show development. And development may be the deepest part of the story. Your brain is not assembled at birth. It grows through interaction. Genes set conditions. Experience shapes outcomes. Connections strengthen. Others disappear. That disappearance is called pruning. Pruning means unused connections are reduced. It sounds destructive. It is how the system becomes efficient. Evolution did not only shape an adult organ, it shaped a long childhood. A brain that stays unfinished. A brain that expects other brains. Think about what that means. A gazelle is born into a narrow world. Run soon. Follow quickly. Recognize danger. Your ancestors' children entered a wider one. Which plants are safe? Who can be trusted? How do you shape this stone? Where does the river bend? What does that gesture mean? What happens after death? Much of the answer was not inside from skull. It was distributed across a group. That is why the old phrase is misleading. The survival of the smartest. Smartest alone is almost meaningless. A lone brain cannot inherit a language. It cannot invent every tool again. It cannot rediscover every poisonous plant. It cannot carry generations of memory. Human intelligence became cumulative. Cumulative culture means knowledge stacks across generations. One person learns, another improves. A child begins above zero. In 2017, Dietrich Stout and Thierry Chaminade reviewed this process in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. They argued that brain development itself is unusually flexible. That flexibility lets skills reshape neural systems. Stone toolmaking is not just a product of a brain. Practicing it changes the brain doing the work. Culture is not merely an output. It becomes part of development. The brain builds culture. Culture helps build the brain. That loop is the real engine. Not size alone. Not one gene. Not one magical lobe. A feedback system. Hands become more precise. Tools become more demanding. Teaching becomes more useful. Childhood becomes more valuable. Groups store more information. Brains develop inside richer social worlds. Then those brains create still richer worlds. The environment is no longer just climate. It is also tradition. The sharp edge, the shared route, the warning call, the story told beside fire. Your ancestors began inheriting two things: biology and accumulated knowledge. The second could change faster, much faster. A genetic change takes generations. A new technique can spread in days. That gave natural selection a moving target. Brains were adapting to environments partly made by brains. Now the biggest twist arrives. Your brain did not evolve mainly to reveal reality. It evolved to act within uncertainty. Those are not the same job. A perfect model is expensive. A useful model can be rough. Your vision does not show every photon. It builds stable objects. Your hearing does not preserve every vibration. It extracts voices. Your memory does not archive every second. It reconstructs what matters. This is why memory changes. Why emotion bends a judgment. Why familiar beliefs feel true. Why familiar belief true. These are not random failures pasted onto a perfect machine. They are side effects of a predictive system. A system optimized for speed, for relevance, for social survival, for action before certainty. The brain is constantly guessing, then correcting. A shadow becomes a face. A rustle becomes an animal. A stranger becomes safe or dangerous. Sometimes the guess is wrong. But waiting for perfect evidence could once be worse. Your brain inherited that bargain. Fast enough, accurate enough, socially useful. That is why modern life can feel so strange. You carry an ancient prediction machine, then you place it inside endless information. Notification exploits attention. Repetition exploits familiarity. Anger narrows the model. Fear makes uncertainty feel urgent. None of this means feel urgent. None of this means your brain is broken. It means the environment changed faster than the system. You were built to learn from a few trusted people. Now thousands of strangers enter your mind daily. You were built to notice rare danger. Now headlines manufacture danger every hour. You were built to update through lived experience. Now images can imitate experience. The mismatch feels personal. It is not. Your attention was never weak. It was valuable. Your memory was never a camera. It was a guide. Your judgment was never designed for infinite choice. It was designed for decisions that had to end. The old ladder gives you the wrong expectation. It says evolution should have produced perfection. A final brain, the smartest brain, the top step, but evolution has no final step. It keeps whatever works well enough. Then it modifies what already exists. Old systems remain. New systems negotiate with them. Emotion does not sit beneath reason. The two are entangled. Movement is not separate from thought. The cerebellum helps reveal that. Culture is not outside biology. Development links them. And intelligence is not stored in one location. It emerges from networks, bodies, tools, other people. That may be the most human thing about your brain. Not that it stands alone, that it cannot. Your greatest cognitive power depends on borrowed knowledge. Words you did not invent. Numbers you did not create. Methods you did not discover. Memories recorded outside your body. Your skull contains one brain. Your life runs on millions. Tonight, your brain will rewrite the past. It will remove noise, preserve meaning, protect a story of who you are. And tomorrow, you will use that imperfect story to act. Not because evolution failed to build a recorder, because it built something stranger. A brain designed to survive the future.